Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 18 of season 1 of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Yes, today we're here finally back for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Just 3 races to go of the year, including this weekend, and safe to say recently we've been getting back into fighting form, of course. If you missed out on the last video from the Mexican Grand Prix, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Currently, we're still in the progress of trying to make sure all our parts are ready for next season. You can see we've got 7 left at risk on the aero side of things, 6 left at risk on the chassis. We should be able to get most of those done by the end of the year, and of course we're just slowly grinding those away behind the scenes as well there. Championship-wise though, Hamilton is looking pretty much in control of the Drivers' Championship at this point, 38 points clear of his teammate Valtteri Bottas with just 3 rounds to go. Technically that gap can still obviously come down, but Hamilton, yeah, could become world champion this weekend there. Then it's both Red Bulls, both McLarens, both Ferraris, Pierre Gasly, both Aston Martins, both Alpines, and then myself ahead of Tsunoda there. And then George Russell, both Alfa Romeos, and both Haas cars. It's a bit like Noah's Ark looking at that championship order. It's a shame Yuki Tsunoda can't pull his weight. Constructors-wise, we're pretty much guaranteed 8th place now as well, unless Alfa Romeo have a worldie or we do something incredible to try and get up to Alpine and AlphaTauri. But yeah, let's dive in then to this weekend's Brazilian Grand Prix. Of course, I guess this weekend, this series has taken on just that little bit more meaning, of course, with the news of Sir Frank Williams' unfortunate passing away. So yeah, I mean now, obviously, I've always wanted to try and win the World Championship with Williams on F1 2021. That's always been the goal since the very beginning, but at least now we've got that extra bit of motivation throughout the rest of this series as well. So yeah, we will be running a tribute livery, you know, when we get a chance, if Codemasters decide to add it to the game, of course. This is being recorded on Xbox, so I can't mod one in, unfortunately, as well. But anyway, qualifying day here in Interlagos, then. Let's see what we can do. Free practice went rather well, I'll be honest. Looking like it's going to be a nice sunny weekend as well, which is reassuring to see. This car doesn't handle the wet weather as well as I would like, as that's something you don't see all too often. Nikita Mazepin goes purple early on here in qualifying. Kimi Raikkonen then goes about a second faster, which is a little less surprising to see. But yeah, I mean, I want to just quickly say thank you as well to all of you guys for the continued support. We've now hit 24,000 subscribers as well. I mentioned in yesterday's video at Jeddah that we might just hit 24k by the time that video goes live, and we're already at like 24,100 by the time we're recording this. So yeah, you guys are absolutely insane. I cannot thank you guys enough for the continued support. You know, 2021 has just been an absolutely incredible year there. Perez does a 106.6 up towards the line, though. We are going to do a 107.7, so right with Kimi Raikkonen, which is probably about where we should be this weekend. There as Bottas goes even faster. Still trying to hang on and keep this title hunt alive as Valtteri Bottas, but that was a decent first run, a good benchmark. Our first run, obviously we got a good ballpark figure in. Let's see if we can try and improve, you know, get closer, maybe jump Kimi, maybe get up towards the Aston Martin of Sir Lancelot. We're going to go for a bit more of a sweaty lap this time. It's all way too late on the brakes through turn 1. Really trying to tap the curves through the rest of the Senna S though, and yeah, 10th and a half down already. It's not the way I wanted to start this lap, but we'll keep chasing the time. Heading through Jungsao, we're still slightly in the red, but we have found a lot of time as this lap has gone on, and we might just sneak back into the green as we head up towards the start-finish line here, trying to scrub off as little momentum as possible. How close are we going to be to our previous lap? Across the line we go! We were 15 thousandths quicker there, but, I mean, yeah, as we went up towards the line, the delta was reading exactly neutral, so that's quite good going. At least we're consistent, I suppose. Right, about to start our final run then here of just qualifying even, I should say, for the Brazilian Grand Prix. You can tell I've been doing a lot of my team stuff recently. Let's see what sort of lap time we can get in there. Giving Pierre Gasly a nice run up towards the line as well, but making sure we break just that little bit earlier in towards turn 1, so we can actually see the apex that time around, and it opens up the run through the rest of the Senna S so nicely. 10th and a half up now on our original. Oh no, this would be obviously the second run now we're going up against, obviously where we did just about improve, but yeah, like I said, a lot of the early part of the lap was rather sloppy. That's no better as we head down in towards the bowl here of Interlagos. Such an odd but interesting circuit still is Sao Paulo, as we try and keep it tidy as we head back up the hill. Ooh, very late on the brakes there. Got Pierre Gasly trying to have a bit of a sneak, but Not going to allow anything to happen. Bottas goes faster on a 106.1. But can we try and hold on? Really roll on the power. Keep the car leaning. Oh, that was very, very wide as we head in towards Jungsao. That might just have cost us as we head out the final turn. Really trying to roll on the power again nice and easily. But we're going to do all 3 laps within about a tenth of a second of each other. Hamilton just doesn't quite nip into the 105. So as we head up towards the start-finish line, yeah, we're going to miss out. It's another. I think that was a 107.8 that time. But so consistent. But it's all for nothing in the end. I think that's P18 on the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix there, and that's a bit gutting. Well, there we go then. Mercedes front row lockout rather unsurprisingly, but McLaren and Ferrari getting ahead of Max Verstappen there. Looks like that could be a really good battle actually between the top 8 this weekend, all of them separated by just half a second. 2 Spaniards, 8th and 9th there. But yeah, George did end up improving as well as Antonio Giovinazzi, means we finished the session P18, but looks like we should be on the pace with Alfa Romeo this weekend to really sort of rustle their feathers. Let's dive in to the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Brazilian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his 3rd championship here in 2012, and in 2016, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7 mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if of course the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Vettel, Perez, Stroll, Norris, they've taken a grid penalty, and Yuki Tsunoda. Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Russell, Mr. Monaco, Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty. Fernando Alonso and Antonio Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix. 3 rounds to go of the 2021 season, and today we're going to have a look, see if the soft-medium strategy is going to be doable here. Going to try and take those softs to lap 15, maybe lap 16, and then try and go mediums to the end here. Fuel, obviously we can't underfuel the car like we do in the My Team series. Got to be very, very careful. I don't do anything like that in the final few rounds of this campaign. But yeah, obviously Interlagos, a track with so much history. A lot of grid penalties this weekend as well, means we've got a bit of a mixed up grid. Haas still, however, locking out the back row. But yeah, let's see what's going to be possible then in the start of this race. Obviously, a lot of opportunities to try and make moves. 5 red lights here in Brazil. And it's going to be lights out and away we go. Oh, not off to a good start there as we head in towards turn 1. And we're just going to get squeezed out immediately as Alonso and Giovinazzi try to hang us out there through turn 2. Oh, a lot of battling there as I think George Russell has got off to a good start, straight up into P12, I want to say, for our teammate, as he's gone forward. We've just gone backwards off the start, though, behind Mick Schumacher in P19 early on in the race. Going to have a cheeky send back at the inside of young Mick. And we will now move back up into 18th place, then, off the start of the race. So, yeah, not the start we would have wanted in Interlagos, but, of course, early on, it's just about trying to keep it clean. A lot of people are going to be going for a lot of moves. Speaking of going for moves, up the inside of Fernando Alonso there. It's kind of the only place we could end up going. So we head through Sector 2. A lot of understeer early on, heavy fuel, tyres still cold, everything like that, as we try and get this car working and operating as it should there. Mick Schumacher again trying to look for a move up the inside. Ever the opportunist is young Mick as we head in towards young Sal for the first time in this race. Is it Hamilton? Is it Bottas leading the way at the end of lap 1? It is going to be. I'm going to guess Hamilton. My money's on Hamilton. Nope, it's Valtteri Bottas, so it's a good job I'm not a betting man here on F1 2021. But coming over towards the start-finish line for us, P15 to P18 on lap 1. And again, we think about it on Alonso. It's Ricciardo and Ocon going side by side just up the road. Carlos Sainz watching on. Thinking if he can try and line up a move. I don't think he's going to be able to do so there as we head back out the Assetto del Lago in towards turn 4. And Alonso, yeah, not trying to do anything either as Ricciardo and Ocon still side by side on lap 2 here. And Carlos Sainz still nowhere to go. Surely Ricciardo now will pull off the move as they head up the hill. And I think, yeah, Ocon's just going to get squeezed out there. Sainz is going to have a look past him as well. And Ocon, yeah, it looks like he's going to lose out 2 places in 1. Trying not to use too much battery early on in this race, but can't help but feel we're getting a little bit stuck already behind Fernando Alonso in this Grand Prix as we try and get a run back up in towards turn 1. We are going to be close enough to go for a bit of a send. And that time round, oh, very, very late on the brakes, almost into the back of Gio. But that's what's so good about Sao Paulo turn 1, the fact you can go for those sends and you've got the space. Team happy with the move, at least that's a good thing, as I think that's Russell having to go defensive. Actually, no, I think it's Kimi Räikkönen just behind him under pressure from the McLaren. So we might see some Constantina in back up again, and we'll try and close up to all these guys as Russell, yeah, really hanging on well at the moment, just behind Tsunoda and Stroll. We're battling over 10th. Really just trying to think about the long game here today as well, you know, not trying to focus on making all the overtakes early, because I know we've got to try and keep these tyres in really good shape there as we're starting to close up on Giovinazzi. Very much a DRS train though being formed early on in this race, but yeah, just not trying to push the rubber too much, leaning on it, don't get me wrong, because obviously if we don't then we'll fall back. But yeah, can we get a run now on Gio as we head out onto the Assetto del Lago? Gio's looking defensive, he's definitely aware of us. Down the outside, wasn't really where I wanted to be, and no, just no grip there as Giovinazzi will hold on for now. But yeah, tyre wear looking good. Oh, that time around they got a really good run at the centre S. Surely now Giovinazzi going to be able to apply a whole lot more pressure to him. Again, down in towards turn 4. To the outside we go once more. Gio really early on the brakes that time. We will get the car completely alongside. So we head down in towards turn 6. Side by side still. Who's going to back out? Surely it's got to be Gio on the outside. And yeah, we basically force him into backing out there. I'm at a P16 then. So still not back to where we started in this race. But just such a train of cars all the way up. No, I think it's 9th place this battle up extends into. So 2 cars from this group could be getting points. Not quite sure why I said 2 of these cars have scored points.
Start losing some tyre grip around now.
That's not reassuring, but yeah, not sure why I said 2 cars could score points from this group, because it is just going to be Sainz and Ricciardo. I would have thought got much quicker cars than everyone else in this gaggle. But weird to see Alpine, you know, they basically are pretty much backmarkers at this stage of the game there. They really haven't got any more car performance over Alfa Romeo, and of course, yeah, they're certainly backmarkers at this stage of the game, but still a big train of cars altogether. And then, of course, Mazepin falling back slowly but surely, like a sinking stone. But yeah, at the moment, though, coming towards lap 10, we've had a really odd start to this race. I feel like we've sort of settled down into a rhythm really early. It hasn't been as frantic as I was expecting either, just because everyone's got the DRS on each other. But I think, yeah, we're going to have to start looking past the other Alpine of Ocon fairly soon. Getting really close to him in towards T1. Let's just see if we can get a good run out of the centre S there. Really got to try and launch it over that inside curve. Use some battery on the exit there. Bit of understeer in the aero wash as we head down in towards turn 4. Ocon making it very clear he's going defensive, but we've done it before and we'll do it again. Oh, a little bit of contact there with Esteban Ocon. Tried to squeeze him on that inside curb. He does hang on. A pretty good save there by the Alpine, but I'm in a P15, and I'm sure, yeah, Esteban not too happy with that. But yeah, we were around the outside. We squeezed him a little bit. But Ocon, yeah, was not willing to back out. Yeah, really surprised to see turn 4 seems to be our best opportunity to go for moves in this race. Is all Kimi Räikkönen just at the last moment decided he was going to go a bit defensive there. Kind of trips us both up in the process. But yeah, it seems to be, yeah, we get a really good run out of the centre S rather than at a young Sao. Oh, got our first few pitters in as well. from the front runners, Charles Leclerc, and I think it must have been Max Verstappen. I just said how we can't get a run in towards turn 1. Have a look up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen. Come on, Kimi. I was always there, mate. Tiny bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. We both do get away with it still. Are we going to be able to get a run on Charles Leclerc? We'll immediately duck into the slipstream there as he's going to slot in right behind our teammate George Russell. And Williams versus Ferrari? What year is this? There goes Charles Leclerc immediately out of the final corner, having a look around the outside of our teammate George Russell. He's basically passed him before they even get into the DRS zone here, but George Russell not taking it lying down as more cars into the pit lane here. Is George going to be able to hang on in towards turn 1 there? Leclerc's going to have the inside for turn 2, and yeah, now George Russell can't really do anything with that, but yeah, we're still hanging on pretty nicely at the moment. How are these tyres looking? Up towards 50% wear, but only got to try and get another couple of laps. We've got to make sure we actually change the strategy over to mediums as well. Don't want to change the wing angle, thank you. I'm pretty happy with that. I definitely don't want a new wing either, because I know what this game can be like. Right, spent all race so far trying to catch back up to the back of our teammate George Russell. Are we going to be able to get a run in towards turn 4? No, we aren't. Russell goes defensive. Oh, sits on the apex again. And a bit like Kimi Räikkönen, we just sort of trip over each other a little bit. As Kimi's really dropping back. I wonder if he picked up a little bit of damage turning in on me. Right, come on then, George Russell. I think he's still going to get the DRS off Sir Lancelot. Yes, he is. We're going to use a bit more battery this time to the outside of our teammate. Make sure we give our teammate the room up the inside. Should be able to get the run down the hill. No, George still trying to keep the nose there, using up all the curbing. But we do get around the outside of our teammate there. Definitely don't want anything to happen between the pair of us. We've got a really good relationship so far this season, and long may it continue. I'm sure saying that, George has now probably confirmed he's going somewhere else for Season 2, but you never know. The only difficult thing is now, these tyres have basically hit the cliff. I think George Russell isn't going to box. Why is our teammate not boxing? We need to box now. I thought he was going to box that lap. Oh, we're going to double stack here, aren't we? I can already just tell what he's going to do. I thought, that's why I decided to go lap 16, because I thought Russell will pit the end of last lap. Oh, dearie me, Williams, what have we done? I mean, we're both in the points for now, but it's not going to last long. But, yeah, George Russell's now just going to box, isn't he? I've confirmed we're boxing, so if the team do, it's their fault.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
Yep, team are definitely happy with it, so, yeah, this is about to screw us. Right, into the pits then at the end of lap 16. Are we about to see our teammate box as well? Lance is pitting just in front of us, but a lot of drivers actually going pretty far into this race.
George is in the pits. George in the pits.
Of course they have, because why on earth would I confirm that twice to the team, and they still decide to let George pit at the same time now? I think Lance has got a front wing change though, so that explains why we were able to keep up with him. But, yeah, I mean, come on, go!
Exit now.
That's not helped him out either, but, I mean, yeah, we're now ahead of Lance.
One stop left.
Definitely not going to box again in this Grand Prix, but I think we're jumped by the Alpines, and they're both on hards. So it might still be a battle that rages on between now and the end of the race. But yeah, back into P15 though, of the Brazilian Grand Prix, behind both Alpines. Where are the Alfa Romeos in all this? One of them just coming out the pit lane. And the other one's still out on track, so we should be ahead of both of them.
Some information on Russell. They seem to have an issue.
Is the issue the fact the team don't know how to coordinate pit stops? I think that might be his big issue today. Other Alfa Romeo into the pit lane. I'm going to guess that's Gio. Yes, it is. And again, I don't know why the game didn't think this strap was going to be possible for us. Everyone else is going for it, but yeah, we're going to be ahead of Giovinazzi there, actually by quite a comfortable margin as we head back out of the pit lane. But the Alpines are not slow by any stretch, but still definitely have a slight advantage over us, so we've got to dig deep if we want to close up. Oh, we've just got the DRS on Esteban Ocon, so now we can really start trying to close in on him and his Alpine teammate. Now, I don't think Ocon's got the DRS on his teammate Alonso, which is even more critical because, of course, they could sort of drag each other along at the moment. So Ocon now might be a little bit more vulnerable, I say that. I think he might just have got it again on Fernando. Yes, he has, but they're hanging on right on the cusp at the moment, and they're both looking a bit vulnerable. Oh, we've got yellow flags out. One of the Haas cars has had issues. Not too sure, I think it was just a spin at turn 1 for Mazepin. Esteban Ocon starting to feel the pressure as we head back up in towards turn 1. Not close enough to go for a send that time, as we actually snagged the brakes. Can we get a nice run off the centre S though? Again, attack that second curve as best as possible. Back in trying to break free slightly. We've got a really good slingshot on Esteban Ocon. Then to the inside on the grass this time. Not letting Esteban Ocon try and barge us around. Oh, a little bit close to contact there, but we forceful move And Esteban Ocon, sometimes, mate, you just got to learn to back down. We forced him that time round to give us the move on the grass on the inside. We've been squeezed to the outside so many times in towards turn 4 there, and Ocon is the only one that we had, I think, proper contact with earlier on, so making sure that not happen again. Ooh, Carlos Sainz into the pits at the end of lap 23. Not too sure what the Spaniards do, and I think I saw Leclerc in 1 lap earlier. So Ferrari having to 2-stop this then. Really struggling a bit more with tyre wear, so I'm sure, yeah, Carlos is probably going to be fast approaching us towards the end of the race, but now suddenly this is a battle for 11th, and Tsunoda's only 5 seconds up the road. Could he be boxing again by the end? Could this be a battle for points? We're going to keep at it, because I do not want to let this break away from us. 2/3 distance though, and we're still, yeah, really, really cool, calm and composed, I want to believe. Oh, we got yellow flags up further up the road. Someone might have issues. No, I think it was just Mazepin again getting in the way. But at the moment, yeah, Alonso, we might just be able to get some DRS on him this time round. He's kind of dragging us up towards Yuki Tsunoda here. We have got Carlos Sainz, who I'm trying to watch out for behind, but he's getting a bit stuck battling Lance Stroll. So this could end up being a battle for the points, but we need to keep these tyres in good check. As we head in towards Zhejiang, you can see really now the back end starting just to slide around a little bit more. And again, we just lose out over the 1 second mark as we head out of the final corner there. We use a splash of battery. We are draining the battery a bit too quickly at the moment. But 9 laps to go here from Interlagos. 3.5 to Tsunoda. Less than a second to Fernando. But we've got to try and keep these tyres hanging. At 30 now, gap to Tsunoda down to 2.5. It's still coming down lap after lap. Sainz now has jumped Ocon behind us, though. This could end up being a 4-way scrap.
Just focus on the driving.
Team happy with where the tyres are at, but I don't think it's worth actually jumping Alonso just yet. I think we need him to continue sort of being the benchmark for us, because he's just fast enough that we can chase him, but not too fast that we're falling away.
At the moment, the car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap.
And yeah, with 5 laps to go, Carlos Sainz 5 seconds behind, so this could, yeah, very much turn into a 4-way scrap between 4 different teams. 4 different power units as well, of course, don't forget. But Tsunoda 1.5 seconds up the road now. And I think we might need to try and either wait for Alonso to go for a move on Tsunoda and then try to capitalise, or try and get Fernando and then slingshot ourselves inside the 1 second of Tsunoda. I'm not sure that's going to be doable though, because I think Alonso might now be able to get the DRS on him. So we just get a little bit out of shape through Sector 2. Come on, keep it all together, Matt. Really trying to attack that curb down the hill. Sort of launches us through the corner. Again, yeah, just getting a little bit out of shape. Focus, regroup. We're still in this. 7/10 the gap to Fernando Alonso. 1.7 the gap to Yuki Tsunoda. 4 laps to go in the Brazilian Grand Prix. And I think all 3 of us want to do everything we can to score this point. Right, are we about to now see Fernando Alonso get a run on Yuki Tsunoda? Don't think he is this time around, but now under a second between all 3 of us, and Carlos Sainz now just 3 seconds back with 3 laps to go. Oh, this is getting spicy. It's not been the most dramatic race in the world. It's not been the flashiest race in the world up to now, but it's just been a race of everyone pushing to the absolute limit, trying to get everything we can out of our cars, and any of us that get this point absolutely deserve it, I think, today. Oh, Mazepin, I think that is just up the road. It might get in the way a little bit, but yeah, just over 2 laps to go here from Interlagos, and what a race this has been. And yeah, really doesn't get out of the way rather well there as Tsunoda might just lose a little bit of momentum. We've got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues. No, I don't think they do. Are we all good? I think we're all good. Once more there as we head back in towards turn 1. But yeah, now 2 laps to go here from Brazil.
7.5 seconds.
Oh, that was a lot of curb through turn 2. 47 seconds ahead of Russell, though. We spent most of the afternoon trying to now nurse issues. But is Alonso going to get a run?
Hang in there. We're attempting to manage it.
No, not with 1 lap to go, thank you. Big lock up for Tsunoda. I think that was just in front of us. Come on, we cannot have an issue. I've literally jinxed myself, have I? We cannot have 2 issues in 1 week on F1 2021. This has been such a good battle up until now.
I can confirm that it's an issue with our engine. Okay, touch wood. Seems like the fault has resolved itself.
Okay. Not sure how that's all happened, but according to the team, they reckon the car's okay again. Had an issue, and then it's gone. So
there's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Oh, that was a lot of wheel spin there. But yeah, on towards the final lap then of this Brazilian Grand Prix. Horrible run out of Jung-Sao that time. Now we need Alonso to really try and go for something on Yuki Tsunoda, because we have dropped back massively. Definitely still got something wrong with the engine, I think. Just ever so slightly, because the car's not handling like it was. There's now Sainz less than a second back, but Alonso, he can't do anything in towards turn 1, and now I think these tyres have hit the cliff. Oh, it's all coming undone right at the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix here. We've got to try and defend from Carlos Sainz just behind us. Sainz having a look to the inside. Oh, look at that. Alonso and Tsunoda going side by side. Carlos is going to make the move work, though. It's all coming undone right at the very end.
That's us down a place.
But as long as we keep close, Valtteri Bottas is going to take home the race victory there. But yeah, these tyres have completely gone. Look at that. Nothing through Sector 2 there. And I think this race, oh, it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking there. Are we going to see Alonso or maybe even Carlos Sainz be able to get a run out of the final corner? That is the other real question. But we pushed so hard for so long on these medium tyres, and it looks like it's just all going to slowly unravel right at the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix there. Rather this than the engine failure, I'll be honest. But we gave it our absolute all today. Is Tsunoda going to be able to take home the point? I think he might just have enough over Fernando Alonso, the two Spaniards right behind him. But it is Tsunoda that gets the point. Alonso 11th, Sainz 12th, and it all comes undone. P13 in the end.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I think for driver of the day, I'd probably pick Lando Norris. He lived up to every inch of his reputation today, and I think he'll be going home, quite rightly, a bit proud of himself.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix, round 18 of the year, and we just couldn't quite pull it off at the very end there. P13 will look like a pretty unassuming result, but yeah, like I said, I think up until that final lap, one of the best races I've ran on F1 2021 in just terms of raw consistency, getting everything out the car throughout the entirety of that one. But it is Bottas who takes home the dub, means the championship battle rages on in towards Australia next weekend there. Hamilton P2 ahead of Lando Norris there, and Norris got driver of the day. I think Gasly deserves a special shout out there, able to beat both Red Bulls from 5th on the grid there. He jumped Max Verstappen and hung on ahead of him all day long there. Verstappen 5th, Perez 6th ahead of Vettel, Leclerc, Ricciardo, and Tsunoda, yeah, does take that final point by just a quarter of a second over Fernando Alonso there. No other major surprises down the rest of the order. Russell, I'm sure, gutted with those issues later on in the day there. Gasly jumps Carlos Sainz, though, in their little tussle there, so that's good job going by him. We're still just 6 points behind Esteban Ocon with just 2 rounds to go of the campaign there. Tsunoda 10 points back behind ourselves. Constructors-wise, though, yep, like they confirmed, Mercedes had already wrapped up the Constructors at Suzuka. So don't know why they've kept confirming it there. But Red Bull, McLaren and Ferrari, and really Aston Martin, yeah, all looking pretty locked in. Unless, of course, Gasly can try and get another really good result in Albert Park next time around there. Alpine, yeah, just don't seem to have enough to battle AlphaTauri at the moment there. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon. We're ranked 19 of the year. We head to Australia. 2 races to go. Can we finish the season on a high? Let's find out. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel supporters. So a massive thank you to The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aidan, Estasios, Cato, Sean, Johnny, McBlam, Mighty Spork, Tazief, William, and Nanon for becoming channel members. If you want to be featured at the end of all these videos, make sure you just click the join button down below.